first screenshot, and I'm going to share my screen right now so we can take a look at the screenshots which he has sent you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at that.
Yeah, there are lots of I don't even know what final consonant is.
Mhm. The comment about a latte in your first answer seemed to come out of nowhere. And you need to guide the conversation towards a change in topic like this instead of changing so abruptly. You need to develop some of your part one answers more fully. You speak a little bit slowly at times. You need to reduce how often you pause and hesitate to help you get a higher score. That's true. I give a similar advice to my other students as well. Avoid pausing and hesitating. In part two, you were expected to talk about someone else. I see. So can you tell me a little bit about your answer? What does he mean by latte?
Yeah. So the question was, what
Mhm,
is the weather like in your country? And I said,
mhm,
it was searing hot.
mhm,
And that's why I'm always in the mood for some
mhm,
iced latte to quench my thirst.
mhm, mhm. Okay. All right.
So perhaps I didn't really elaborate on the weather. I just said it is searing hot, and I just move on to the activities that I enjoy
Mhm, mhm.
time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fluency and coherence-based. Oh, this is more of is willing to speak at length, though may lose coherence at times due to occasional repetition, self-correction, or hesitation. Uses a range of connectives and discourse markers, but not always appropriately. Um, so can you tell me about, whether or not you understand your mistakes in these two comments here in this section?
I do, but can we talk about
Mhm.
the
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 next page.
the latte one first?
Sure, sure. Let's go to the latte one. Is it here?
Yes, I don't know why he marked that down as a lack of fluency. I don't know.
Okay. Where is the latte one? Is it
The comment about the latte is
here?
abrupt, right?
This one.
Yeah.
I can't find the latte one here
In the fluency section.
in the fluency section. Okay. It's oh in the first one, right? Right here. Okay. So what do you want to you said you want to talk about the latte one?
Yeah.
Tell
So
me more.
so I said before I said
Mhm,
the weather was hot, and so I'm always in the mood to buy an iced latte to quench my thirst, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
And he said no. That the change is too abrupt. You need to guide that to the latte. And I'm like, huh? How?
mhm,
I don't get that part.
mhm. You need to chain it to a latte. What do you mean by that?
Because I don't know. It's like the weather.
Mhm,
The question is, how is the weather like?
mhm.
And then I just said it's searing hot, so I'm always in the mood for some iced latte.
I see. So he was expecting more of an answer that revolved around the weather, right? And not about drinks or what you or lattes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Small ones.
Small ones, what, sweetie? What is it?
Noodles.
No, sweetie.
Please.
No, sweetie.
Please.
No.
Please.
Okay. In the next section, would you like to talk about this one here? You stress too many words in each sentence because you tend to pause after each word or every second word. You sometimes don't pronounce the final consonant sounds in words. For example, tropical, hometown, land, past, think, and downside, stressful, unpredictable, past, with, people, or list. You must pronounce the vowel sounds in some words, for example, advantageous and may. Is that how you pronounce these words? Advantageous and may?
Advantageous in me. I
Mhm,
don't know what happened to this part, you know?
mhm, mhm,
Maybe you can be the judge because I don't know. I think I do think that I speak a little slowly. I spoke a bit slowly because I was being careful with the ending sound,
Mm-hmm.
but that didn't sit well with him, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think, he was being too harsh on you. I think these are very small and very minor errors, which he should have overlooked. I don't believe that these are, serious mistakes that need to be, written down, right? I think it was being too harsh on you, to be honest.
Okay, so here is the answer that I can play it for you.
Sure, sure.
I do think I spoke a little slow.
Okay.
Yeah. Traveling can be stressful because there are so many things that could go wrong. Your flight could be canceled, and
Yeah,
it's very
okay.
unpredictable whether or not you could arrive to the destination on time.
Yeah.
The accommodation that you stay in might have some issues as well. For example, in the past, one of my room was flooded with water because the pipe broke. Yeah, something like that.
So I see what he means about the hesitation and the pausing.
Okay.
You did hesitate a lot. And I understand what he means about the pausing.
Yeah, I get that part, but I don't know about the final consonant. What is that? I look it up and it was just like, it was confusing. It was like a voice and voiceless type of thing. And then, no.
Well, the final consonant is the final sound of the word, right? A consonant is the opposite of a vowel. As you know, vowels are A, E, I, O, U.
Yeah.
Consonants are B, C, D, F, G, H. Those words, those letters, right? And he typed down some words as examples of the words that you don't pronounce the final consonant in, right? Example, tropical. Perhaps in your when you were speaking, you said tropica. No, there was no emphasis on the L. Tropical. Hometown. Perhaps there was
Can
no.
I go through all of this now and then you tell me
Mhm.
I'm wrong?
Okay, you may go ahead. Begin. You may begin.
Okay. Tropical. Since Vietnam is tropical,
Mm-hmm.
my hometown is Hanoi.
Mm-hmm.
The land has been fertilized.
It's perfect. Flat. Yeah.
In the past, I didn't like to travel by.
The T. Past. In the past. I
Okay.
did not hear the T. Mm-hmm.
In the past,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like to travel
Mm-hmm.
with by train, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think what I got from this experience, okay, me and my brother, my brother and I
My
were,
brother and I.
my brother and I were,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't say my brother and I, right? You
I
just
say my brother and I. My son and I, my brother and I, my husband and I.
no
Yeah.
E at the end, right?
No.
Now the only downside is the layover.
Downside. That's right.
So downside did that,
That's
right?
right. Downside. You pronounced that correctly. Yes.
Um, Traveling by train could be stressful.
I don't hear the L.
Uh,
Stressful.
Traveling by train could be stressful, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have to really enunciate the full, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, the weather could be unpredictable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
I like to go with my sister.
Uh-huh. I like to go with my sister. Good.
Uh, Vietnamese people are very aware of this fact.
Of this what?
Vietnamese people are very aware, and then something I don't remember. But Vietnamese people are very aware.
Okay.
Vietnamese people are very aware. Vietnamese people.
Where, yeah. I hear the R. It's clear
Okay.
and concise.
People good. Vietnamese people.
That's right. Vietnamese people. Yeah.
Okay. This list is not very good.
List.
List.
Yes.
This
Yes.
list, this list is not very good.
Much better. Much better. The first time you said it, it was list. I didn't really hear the T. There needs to be more emphasis on the T. So I see what he means by the final consonant. List. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
full on the list. Okay.
Tropical, hometown, land, past, think, down, and perhaps you said and, not and.
And
Downside, stressful, unpredictable, past, with, people, list. I guess he was expecting you to enunciate more on the final consonant, right? The final letter of each word.
yeah, but if I do
when
too much, I would sound like a robot like this. Like what?
Well, not really, as long as you don't pause too much, right? As long as you don't pause too frequently or hesitate too frequently, you probably might not sound. That's why intonation is very important. In order to avoid sounding robotic, you have to make sure that, your tone increases and decreases in a natural way. For instance, I'm going to read this sentence here, from you mispronounce all the way to advantageous in me. I'm going to read it in a very monotonic, or like a very monotonous way, very monotonous, figure of way of speaking. And you're going to hear that it's going to sound robotic because I will not have any intonation. You mispronounce the vowel sounds in some words, for example, advantageous may. So now I'm going to have more of an intonation in this second way of speaking. You mispronounce the vowel sounds in some words. For example, advantageous, may. So as you can hear, it doesn't sound monotonous. My pitch kind of like rises and falls, right? So I added intonation there. That is a really good way to avoid sounding robotic.
Okay.
When you enunciate the final consonant, it does not guarantee that you will sound robotic.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it does not guarantee that you sound robotic. It means
Mhm.
even if I enunciate clearly, I may still sound robotic, right?
If you don't have intonation, yes.
Okay.
That's why intonation is very important. So pronunciation and intonation goes together. You cannot have one without the other. You need to make sure that you have intonation in order to avoid sounding robotic. So you can definitely enunciate and put more emphasis on the final consonant sounds. Okay, pronunciation band 6.0 uses a range of pronunciation features with mixed control. Some shows some effective use of features, but this is not sustained, can generally be understood throughout, though mispronunciation of individual words or sounds reduces clarity at times. Can you tell me more about this? How was your experience?
I don't get the second line, show some blah 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 blah, right? It's a bit unclear for me.
Me too, to be honest with you. I wish there was more context. Shows some effective use of features, but this is not sustained. I wish I had more context, and I wish so that I can understand and have a better and clear understanding of what the examiner meant when he typed this down. Shows some effective use of features, but this is not sustained. Not sustained means not consistent, right?
Yeah.
So perhaps what he meant was there were times when you were inconsistent with clear pronunciation.
So with enunciation, with intonation. So what are some features in pronunciation anyway? We have enunciation, intonation, and then what? Word stress, right?
Word stress, that's right.
That's it? 3 of them?
Yeah, that's all.
What about the IPA thingy?
What
The
IPA thingy?
the vowel and the consonant chart.
The consonant chart. International Phonetic Alphabet?
Yeah.
What about it?
So if he says some vowel sounds that I make are wrong, like what do you mean? Like I said advantageous. Is that true?
Advantageous.
Yeah, I said that.
Mhm.
Advantageous. I don't know. Okay, moving on.
Okay. Let's move on to the next page. You have enough error-free sentences for band 7 in grammar, but you would need to make fewer mistakes for a higher score. Mistakes you made include, if I get too sweaty, I will feel. When I get sweaty, I feel. That's right. If I have to take a shower all the time, I have to take showers all the time. That's
I
right.
understand number 2, but number 1,
Okay.
can we go through
Uh-huh.
each of them and then move on to the next?
Of course. Okay, so if I get too sweaty, I will feel. Do you understand his correction? Do you understand your error in this sentence?
I understand the number 2, but not number 1. I understand
Okay.
some of them actually. Like if I get too sweaty, I understand. Some
Okay.
beginners understand.
Okay. So you
The rest,
cannot use if, right? Use if in hypothetical situations. This is a realistic situation. It happens, right? So from time to time, this happens realistically. So in hypothetical situations, you use if and would, but in realistic situations, you use when, right? And he forgot the extra two. There should be an extra two here when I get too sweaty. So this was an error on his part. He forgot to add the extra two, right? So when I get too sweaty, I feel, right? So this is correct. When I get too sweaty, this is correct.
can we do
And you
a
cannot,
exercise?
I'm sorry?
Not what? Yeah, I do not add a will, right?
No, you don't add well. Because this is not a it shouldn't be in the future tense. It should be present in present tense because this happens from time to time in the present, right? And you cannot use if because if is a hypothetical situation, not guaranteed, right? But when is more realistic. It happens. When I get too sweaty, I feel. So
Mm. Can
yeah,
we
I hope you.
do a little exercise because I use if sentence a lot for everything.
Okay. I'll ask you some questions using, what do you do when, right? And then you have to answer in this format, right? When I get to, okay, so when you feel hungry, when you feel too hungry, what do you do?
Mm. When I starve,
Mhm.
when I starve, I make some food.
When I starve. Maybe starve is not the right word in this scenario. It's something very severe, something very serious, right?
Yeah,
When I feel too hungry.
yeah. Okay, I know. Okay.
Mhm.
I was trying to paraphrase. I don't want to
Okay.
repeat what you say. Hungry, right? Yeah.
Well, for the purpose of this practice,
Okay.
it's okay for you to repeat exactly what I say. Okay. When you feel bored, what do you do?
Mm. When I feel like I have nothing to do,
Mm-hmm.
I entertain myself with games.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good, good. When you are feeling angry, what do you do?
When I am mad,
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my close friends about my feelings.
Okay, good, good. When I'm mad, I talk to my close friends about my feelings. That's good. That's good. There is no if. You didn't no instances of the word if, no instances of the word well. That was good.
So
I
when
hope you understand.
again, like if girls go
Uh-huh.
out at night, they might get assaulted, right? Is that
What do
a
you mean?
is that a nice example? It's the hypothetical, right?
Repeat that question again.
If girls
Mm-hmm.
go out at night, they might get assaulted.
Yeah, that's right. That's a hypothetical situation. If girls go out at night, they might they might be assaulted. That's right.
So can you give more examples of hypothetical?
Sure, sure. So, a hypothetical situation, for example, realistic situation is I'm a teacher, right? I'm an English teacher. Unrealistic situation or hypothetical situation, if I weren't a teacher, I would probably be a psychologist or therapist.
Yeah, type 2 conditional, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. You
So
got it.
what about the basic type 1?
Mm-hmm.
If I travel to Malaysia,
Mm-hmm.
I visit their capital city. Is that a hypothetical question or is that real?
If I if I ever visit Malaysia, right? If I ever visit Malaysia, I would visit their capital city.
If I ever visited, right?
If I ever visit, no, if I not visited. If I ever visit Malaysia, or if I were to visit Malaysia, would be more appropriate. If I were to visit Malaysia, I would see their capital city. I would check out their capital city. I would explore their capital city. You could say that. I would stay in their capital city if I were to visit Malaysia, because it's in the future, not the past, right? If it's in the past, if I weren't, right? Or if I had not been. For instance, if I
Yeah.
I
Perfect conditional sentence, right?
that's right.
If I had been more careful, I would have
Yes, you got it.
checked the room, right?
You got it. Yes,
Would have
precisely.
forgotten. Yeah, I know, but I don't really, I can't really tell the difference between like when and if. Yeah, like when to use when and when to use if. Like
Just keep this in mind. When is realistic, if is hypothetical. If.
is hypothetical. Yeah.
When is more of a realistic situation,
What
right?
about the cases in which we use if sentence type number 1?
For example,
If I go to school or something, I don't know. If I have time, I eat breakfast. Is that a hypothetical question?
if I have time,
I don't know. If first conditional, right?
mhm,
It refers to it's a simple present and the tense in the main clause is a simple future, right? It's simple present and then the main clause, the result is the simple future. So if this thing happens, that thing will happen.
That's
So
right.
when do we use type 1 conditional as opposed to when? As opposed to the when statement?
I'm lost. Type 1 conditional.
So we have the type 1 conditional like if simple present, right? If it rains, you
Yeah,
will get wet. If Sally is late, I will be mad.
that's right. If it rains, you will get wet. That's right.
But rain is a real situation, right? It happens once in a while.
That's right. But for instance, today, I don't know if it's going to rain or not. Right now, in this present moment, I'm not sure whether it's going to rain or not. If I was certain, if I am sure, if I am certain it's going to rain, I would say when.
Okay.
When it rains, you will get wet. You're going to get wet. I know it's going to rain. I heard it in the weather forecast, the clouds are dark. So when it rains or when it starts to rain, you will get wet. But in this particular situation, I don't know if it will rain or not.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to rain or not. You're right. Rain is a realistic situation.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right.
Can you ask me a bunch of questions so I can use both of them?
Okay.
Bunch of type 1 question, just
Okay.
simple question. You don't need
Conditional questions, right?
Additional one, yeah.
Okay. Well, I to save time, instead of, thinking of questions off the top of my head, I'm just going to Google conditional questions, okay?
Yeah.
That's going to save a lot of time. Below is a collection of first, second, third, and mixed conditional questions. So, all right. If you get a raise, what might you do with the extra money?
If my salary increased,
Mhm.
I
Do
would.
you think that maybe it would be better to just stick with the script?
Oh, I want to paraphrase while
Mhm.
using the form correctly.
Okay, all right. I just
If
have to make sure that is grammatically accurate. Okay, start over.
if my salary increased,
Okay, increased. Are you sure it should be in the past tense? Are you
yeah,
sure?
increased. The. I said the.
Increased. Okay.
Yeah. If my salary increased, I would use that extra money to travel the world.
Okay. I don't think if my salary increased sounds natural. It doesn't sound natural to my ears. I would advise you to say, if I get a salary raise.
Okay.
Mhm. All right. If I get a salary raise, I would travel the world. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Uh, think of a current trend in your field of work. Okay, I'll skip that one. I'll skip that one. If you are asked to put in overtime this week, will you do it? Why not?
If I was forced to work overtime,
Mhm,
I would certainly decline because I have my own family that
mhm,
I love to spend time with.
mhm, mhm,
I have my family I love to spend time with, and I would not tolerate their demands.
mhm. I would not tolerate their demands.
Yeah.
Okay. I would not tolerate their demands. Okay. Sounds acceptable. If you wake up with a cold tomorrow, what would you do? What will you do?
If I woke up.
Mhm. If I wake up with a cold tomorrow, yeah.
Wait, this is the first conditional, right?
It is the first conditional. Mhm.
Oh, okay. If I wake up sick,
Mhm.
I will stay at home. That's it.
Okay.
I'll stay
If
at
I
home.
wake up sick, I will stay at home.
Yeah, I don't want to transmit the disease to other people.
All right. Very good.
Yeah,
Good.
spread the virus to other people. Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Very good. If there is a lot of traffic tonight, what will you do?
If there was, right?
If there is, not was, because it's tonight.
Night. Okay, so when is it is and when is it was?
Is present future, present and future, was is past. So if I'm talking about tonight or tomorrow, I would not use was. I would use was for past instances, for past occurrences. For instance, if there wasn't any traffic last night, I would have gone out.
But I thought type 2 conditional is for unrealistic situation in
Mhm.
future case. In future cases.
This is a realistic situation. If it's not guaranteed that there will be traffic tonight. Maybe there will not be any traffic. That's why the question starts with if.
Okay. Shit sucks. Anyway.
Mhm.
Bye. Um, if it rains tomorrow, if it rains tonight, I will just stay indoor and eat.
Rain or traffic? If
Uh,
there is traffic tonight,
if yeah. What was the question again?
if there is a lot of traffic tonight, what will you do?
Okay. If the traffic is if the road is congested tonight, I will just stay indoor to
If the road
avoid
is congested tonight, I would
uh,
stay indoors.
polluted air.
Okay. All right. Um, what are you currently working on? What will you do if you run into problems?
What would you do?
Mhm.
This type.
Hypothetical situation. Because it's not guaranteed that you would run into problems.
Yeah, there's no tonight or tomorrow.
No, there's no specific mention of time.
So if there's a mention of time, then it is type 1. But future, for the near future.
Well, if you look at yeah, and for the near future, that's right.
Okay. I would take a step back and reevaluate my tasks
Mhm.
to see if I
Perfect.
need improvements in any area.
It's perfect.
Wait, is it in any areas or in any area
In
without
any area
without S, right?
without S. Yeah.
Okay.
If I were to use air, if it's with an S, you could say in all areas, in any area or in all areas.
Okay.
What might happen if your department hires more people?
In any area.
Mhm.
Oh. Mm, I would show them the ropes
Mhm.
and show how proud I am about
Mhm.
my company.
Mhm. Mhm. I would show them the ropes and show them how proud I am of the company. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, second conditional questions. What would you do if you were independently wealthy and didn't have to work?
Mm. Honestly, that would be a dream come true.
Mhm.
I would travel around the world and donate a part of my, wealth to charities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. If you started your own business, what would you have to get used to?
If you started a business,
Mhm.
mm, I would feel very daunting at first,
Mhm.
but then I would do my research and establish a very professional and capable team.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Try to avoid raising your voice at the end of the sentence. It sounds like a question.
Wait, like what did I say? My team?
Yeah, I would, for instance, I'm going to answer this question based on my own personal opinion, right? And I'm going to answer it uh, in the same kind of like voice you usually answer questions in. So when someone asks a question, they raise their voice at the end of every sentence.
Yeah.
So if I started my own business, I would have to get used to working long hours a day. So it's kind of like you see the
Yeah, yeah.
high pitched voice yeah, at the end of the sentence. Yeah, it sounds more like a question. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So mhm.
anything except a question you should lower your voice, right? You should lower your voice.
Yeah, yeah,
Affirmation statement with any affirmation.
absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, if I started my own business, right? Not if I started my own business. If I started my own business,
If I
I
started,
would have to get used to working long hours. Mhm.
okay.
All right. If you could change one thing about your current job, what would it be?
Mm, mm, I would I would ask my boss to raise my salary.
Salary? You're doing it
Oh,
again.
sorry,
I would
sorry.
ask my boss to raise my salary.
I would ask my boss to raise my salary
Good.
and ask for a vacation
Okay,
because
good.
I'm burnt out.
Okay,
Uh,
much better.
okay.
I would ask my boss for a salary and ask for vacation because I'm burnt out. If you gave a graduation speech to a group of college graduates, what would you say to them? What advice would you have for people about who are about to enter the workplace?
I would tell them to prepare for the politics in any company.
Okay, much better.
They would have to deal with certain hierarchy and
Mhm,
very demanding bosses.
mhm,
I would also advise them to start their own ventures.
mhm, mhm. I
Yeah.
would also ask them to start their own ventures. Okay, good. Their own business ventures, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't have your current job, what do you think you might be doing instead? That is question number 5.
I would
Mhm,
I would become a chef because
mhm,
I like to cook. I have loved cooking ever since I was young.
mhm.
So diving into the culinary world would be a dream come true.
Okay, very good. Uh, do not hesitate too much. Try
Okay.
to minimize your pauses.
Mhm.
If you were offered a job in another country, would you accept it? Why or why not?
I would not move abroad because I don't really like to make drastic changes to my lifestyle. To my
To my
lifestyle.
lifestyle?
Not that long ago, I know
Yeah,
it's
I
tough.
would not make drastic changes to my lifestyle.
Yeah. This is like
Mhm,
a very entrenched habit of mine.
mhm.
It's
Well,
very hard.
let's try to break this habit.
Yeah.
That's another objective to this lesson. Let's try to break this habit. Okay. Please restart your answer.
Uh, I would I would decline this offer to move
Mhm.
abroad because I don't like drastic changes to my lifestyle.
Much better.
I have to really lower my voice. I sound like an
To my
old lady.
lifestyle. Yeah, yeah. But it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Honestly, it makes a big, big difference. Okay. If you were offered a job, oh, sorry, if you were offered a promotion and a 15% raise, but you knew that you would have to work late every night, would you accept the promotion or would you decline it?
Mm, I would prioritize my health.
Mm-hmm.
I would not accept that promotion because I know that it might take a toll on my
Mm-hmm.
health.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Okay.
I
Very
think
good. It would take a toll on my health. It's perfect.
okay.
It's perfect. Yeah. What kind of government regulations does your company have to comply with? What would happen if the company didn't comply with these regulations? Sounds like a very specific question. Let's skip that. Number 9, talk about a law that you disagree with. Why would things be better without this law? What would be different if this didn't, if law?
Stop,
Mhm.
stop. Can you just one question at a time?
Okay. Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm like, oh, what is that?
I'll just find more simple questions because the goal here is just to get used to conditional questions, right? So let's find a much more simple question. Okay. What do you think might happen if you didn't get along with the people you work with?
I would move out of the company
Mhm,
because if I didn't get along with them, it might
mhm,
be very inconvenient for me to do my daily task.
mhm,
I would also more likely to be bad mouth, especially since since they had since they had an intense dislike to me, to
mhm,
me, to me. They would more likely badmouth me to my boss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe they would badmouth me is too informal for an IELTS examination. It's very appropriate in everyday conversation, but I don't think it's it's appropriate enough for an IELTS as an IELTS answer. So instead of saying badmouthing me, you could say I'm afraid they would speak badly of me to my boss. It's mhm. I'm afraid I'm worried or I'm afraid they would speak badly of me to my boss.
Okay.
Right?
We talk about the law thing. I like that question.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. The badly of me to my boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Which there are two questions about the law. Was it number 9 or number 10 that you liked?
yeah, the one that I disagree with. Yeah.
Okay, talk about a law that you disagree with.
Um, so I disagree with this law that
Mhm.
prohibits people from drinking on the street.
Mhm.
I think it just doesn't matter where you drink your liquor or your booze.
Mhm.
I feel like this law is absurd because it prevents people from having a good time.
Mhm.
Um, I do believe they are controlling the amount of people who are drunk drivers.
Mhm.
But the hour of drinking or the location of drinking don't really have an effect on on drunk driving cases.
Mhm.
I would say if this law was abolished,
Mhm.
they would uh, make the street and the night scene more lively, more lively, more lively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would make the okay, very good. The night scene more lively. Very good. Why would things be better without this law? It would make the night scene more lively. It would make nightlife more lively, right? Okay. Uh, talk about a law that you would like to implement, and why would things be better if we had this law, and what would be different?
Mm. I don't know if I should say this,
Mm-hmm.
but it has always been on my mind. It always
Okay.
lurking in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think assaulters, especially male assaulters, should be
Mm-hmm.
castrated. Should I say that?
Wow. Okay. Sex offenders, male sex offenders should be castrated.
Yeah,
Interesting. Tell me why.
I think sex offenders should be castrated because
Mm-hmm.
the trauma that they
Mm-hmm.
create is unfathomable, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Unfathomable. Mm-hmm.
Unfathomable,
Mm-hmm.
unfathomable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
And
You know what? In the United States, there is a judge who is in the state of Louisiana, right? And they recently passed a bill that could order people convicted of child molestation to undergo surgical castration. So what you're saying is not far from the truth. It's currently happening in the United States right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's good. That makes my
Mhm.
day. Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, I think this law would make the world a better place for
Mhm.
children and women who are
Women.
for children and women,
Women.
women
Yeah. Not woman, but women.
and women
Mhm.
who
Yes.
are vulnerable to these
These predators.
these predators. Yeah.
Mm. Very good. Wonderful. Um, moving on to the next question. If you had an extra 2 hours of time every day, what could you do with the extra time?
Mm, if I could have an extra 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
I would read more books.
Mm-hmm.
right now I feel like I don't have enough time to peruse my books.
Mhm.
And that makes me very sad because I used to read more
Mhm.
than now. Yeah, that's it.
Very good.
Can we
Uh,
talk more about the first condition?
sure. What do you want to talk about in the first condition?
Anything about the first condition?
Oh, you want more first conditional sentence, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, first conditional questions. Okay, I'll ask you more first conditional questions. Because to have the questions in front of me would save us a lot more time. It saves me the time from having to think off the top of my head. Okay, if it rains tomorrow, what will you do?
If it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home and chill with my dog. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Very simple, clear, accurate. What will you do if you get lost? So perhaps like in the instance that you were traveling to a new country and you didn't know the language, what will you do if you get lost?
If I get I- if I find myself getting lost, I
Mhm,
will ask for the direction of a local,
mhm.
a local.
A local, yeah, a local residence. I would ask for directions from a local residence. What will you do if the local resident does not speak English?
Mm.
Mm,
Mm, if the local resident is not
mhm,
fluent in English, I
mhm,
will use my body language to communicate with the person.
mhm, mhm. Very good. Will you be upset? Sorry, if you arrive late to work, will you be fired?
Oh, um, if it happens way too many times,
Mhm,
I will definitely be dismissed from my
mhm.
company.
You could also use the word too frequently. If it happens too frequently, I
Yeah,
would I would eventually be dismissed from my company.
yeah.
Will you be upset if you miss the movie tonight? Perhaps this question is indicating that you have movie tickets at the cinema tonight.
I will if if I cannot make it to the cinema tonight,
Mhm, mhm,
I will read the summary and of the movie
mhm,
on Wikipedia
mhm,
to satiate my curiosity.
mhm,
To satiate my curiosity. Yeah.
mhm. Very good.
Can we do like a condition type 3 or something? I don't know. What is it like? Had been? Past perfect?
Okay.
Or
So it would be
mixed? What about mixed conditional? I don't know about that.
okay, let's take a look at the mixed conditional. Okay, third and mixed conditional questions, right?
Mhm.
Think about an important advancement in your field. What would have happened if this advancement had never happened? And what would be different now if this advancement had never happened?
It's never happened. Wait, so what is this mix again? The the cause is the present, right? The clause is
Mhm.
simple present, and then the main clause, the result is past.
What do you mean?
Like, what is the mixed condition anyway?
Okay, so mixed condition. Let's find a more thorough explanation of mixed conditional. Okay. Mixed conditional. It is possible for the two parts of a conditional sentence to refer to different times, and the resulting sentence is a mixed conditional sentence. There are two types of mixed conditional sentences. Present result of a past condition. In this type of mixed conditional sentence, the tense in the if clause is the past perfect, and the tense in the main clause is the present conditional. So if clause condition, if past perfect, if this thing had happened, main clause is the result, present conditional, that thing would happen. For example, if I had worked harder at school, I would have a better job now. I would have a better job now if I had worked harder at school. I hope this answers your question.
So if it's something in the past, if
Mhm.
something unreal happened in the past,
If
something
something, okay.
unreal
So the
happened,
past result of present or continuing condition. If plus simple past, if this thing happened, that thing would have happened. If I wasn't afraid of spiders, I would have picked it up. I would have picked, if we didn't trust him, we would have sacked him months ago. If I wasn't in the middle of another meeting, I would have been happy to help you.
okay.
So that is in the past tense. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I
try.
will send this link to your italki chat.
It's
So
fine.
you
I
can,
know this. I know this. Yeah.
okay. So would you like me to ask you more? Would you like me to continue asking these questions?
Mhm.
Okay. Yes, number one, think about it, an important advancement in it doesn't have to be your field, it could be in any field, educational field, scientific field, field of technology, anything.
Mhm. Um, if if vaccination had not been invented,
Mhm.
more people would pass away from chronic disease.
Would have passed away.
Uh, more people would have passed away from chronic
Diseases.
diseases.
Mhm. If the vaccine was never invented, more people would have passed away from chronic diseases. Perfect. Yeah.
Mm. That is the mixed conditional type 1, right?
Yes. Mixed conditional type 1. No, it's in the past, right?
If vaccine wasn't invented, but
Uh-huh.
if past perfect. Okay, so this is if
Had never been invented.
yeah.
Uh-huh. If the vaccine had never been invented, more people would have passed away or died from chronic diseases.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has to be in the past. Past perfect.
So the more people would have died, would have passed away. Is it another thing that happened in the past or is it in the present?
Another thing that never happened in the past.
Okay.
It never happened in the
That is
past.
type 2.
Mhm.
And the first one, type 1, if vaccination had not been invented,
Yeah.
more people would pass away now, right?
Yes,
Happened in the
that's right.
present.
Yes, that is happening in the present. If the vaccine had never been invented, more people would pass away now.
Mhm,
More people would be dying now. Yeah.
mhm.
What do you think has been the most important invention of the last 50 years? Oh, it's very similar to the previous one, right? The creation of the vaccination, right?
4.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Yeah,
sorry?
we do number 4.
Sure. What might the world be like now if the internet had never been invented?
Mm. Um, now, okay, now, if the internet never
Mhm.
had never emerged, if the internet had never emerged,
Mhm.
mhm, we would have less productivity. The
Mhm.
world would operate at a slower pace.
Okay. We would say that again one more time. If the internet,
If the internet had not emerged,
okay.
the world would operate at a slower pace.
Okay. Okay, good. That was great. That was great. Um, number three, we skipped number three. Would you like to answer number three? What is the best piece of advice you have ever received? How
Okay.
might your life be different if you had never received this advice?
Ah, so my life now, right? Not my life in the past.
Mhm.
My life in the past, right?
Mhm.
how might my life in the past be different?
Mhm.
Okay. If I had not received an advice
Mhm.
to take up cooking as a hobby,
Mhm.
I would have eaten out way more and wasted and would have wasted much more money. Right? I would have eaten out more and wasted more money, right?
I would have okay, it sounds repetitive. You said more twice.
Yeah, I would have eaten out and spent
More frequently
I,
and spent more money.
I would have eaten out more frequently and spent more
Mhm.
money
You can also use the opposite and saved less money.
and saved less money.
Yes, if you want to. But because you said frequently, you then there's no problem with saying more money. I would have spent more money
Okay.
because you said frequently in the first part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to continue these questions in the next lesson? I believe we have reached the end of our lesson time.
Okay.
Okay. I'll send the links to your italki chat as a bookmark for myself. And all right. Thank you so much, for this lesson. And I hope that it helped you. We can further, have further discussions of your feedback. We haven't quite finished reviewing all of them, right?
Next one would be like those types of something.
Mhm.
Those massive spaces versus those types of massive space. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. It's good that you're targeting down, your mistakes and you are solving your problems from the root cause, right? You're going straight to the root cause and you're trying to, tackle your problems or tackle your weaknesses from the root cause. So it's nice that we are, we have a target and we're really focused on the examiner's feedback, right? And then we can tackle the negative feedback from the root cause. So we're going to continue the conditional questions in the next lesson and further review the feedback, right? Because there were some of the comments that we haven't reviewed yet. We've skipped.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, bye, Mai. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.